What if I told you that for most of human history, women simply bled through their clothes, and almost nobody thought that was strange? No pads, no tampons, no period tracking apps, just fabric, plants, and whatever the earth happened to provide that month. And somehow, humanity didn't just survive, it thrived. So, how did women thousands of years ago deal with something that happens every single month for decades of their lives? The answer is far stranger, far smarter, and at times far more disturbing than you'd expect. And trust me, when we get to number 3, you're probably going to rewind just to make sure you heard it correctly. So, let's go back. Way back. Long before pharmacies, before indoor plumbing, before anyone had even invented the wheel. Here's something most people don't know. Menstruation itself is actually unusual in nature. Most mammals don't visibly shed the lining of their uterus the way humans do. Dogs don't. Cats don't. Even most primates don't. Humans belong to a very small and very strange club, alongside a handful of species like certain bats and elephant shrews. It's almost as if nature created the feature and forgot to include the instruction manual. Now imagine you're living 50,000 years ago, no bathrooms, no privacy, just open land, shared shelters, and a life that's constantly on the move. So, what do? The answer starts out surprisingly simple. You use whatever is around you. Soft grass, moss, tree bark, animal hides. In colder regions, women are believed to have relied on dried moss because it could absorb an incredible amount of liquid. Ironically, it's the exact same reason moss was later used to help treat battlefield wounds. Ancient women were solving problems with biology long before anyone called it innovation. In warmer climates, they likely used soft plant fibers or folded pieces of cloth, held in place with simple cords. Was it comfortable? Probably not. Was it elegant? Definitely not. But it worked, and life kept moving. But here's where the story becomes much bigger than hygiene, because in many ancient societies, a period wasn't just a physical experience. It became wrapped in belief, fear, and even power. Let's travel to ancient Egypt. The Egyptians left behind some of the oldest medical writings in history. Hidden inside those texts are references to menstruation that feel surprisingly modern. Many historians believe Egyptian women used softened papyrus, rolled into absorbent shapes. Yes, the same papyrus that became one of the world's earliest forms of paper. They also used linen, a fabric so fine, it was later used to wrap pharaohs for eternity. Think about that for a second. The same material used to preserve kings was also quietly helping ordinary women through everyday life. History has a strange sense of irony, but what makes Egypt even more fascinating is that they actually documented menstrual health. Their physicians wrote about irregular cycles, fertility, and possible treatments, centuries before modern medicine even existed. In some ways, they understood more than the civilizations that followed. Because the next stop takes a very strange turn: ancient Greece. Now you'd expect medical knowledge to improve over time. Instead, it wandered. Literally. Many Greek physicians believed the uterus could actually move around inside the body. They imagined it wandering like a small animal, searching for moisture. This bizarre idea became known as the wandering womb. And yes, people genuinely believed it. They also believed menstruation helped remove excess blood, keeping the uterus calm and in its proper place. If your brain just said, "That can't be real," you're not alone. Greek women most likely used wool, or soft lint wrapped around small pieces of wood as absorbent material. Natural fibers were everywhere, reliable, reusable. And interestingly, they're not all that different from some of the eco-friendly products making a comeback today. But medicine wasn't the only thing shaping people's ideas about periods. Sometimes, superstition completely took over, And this is where the story becomes almost unbelievable. In ancient Rome, the famous writer Pliny the Elder claimed menstrual blood possessed extraordinary powers, not symbolic powers, literal ones. He wrote that it could dull sharp blades, kill swarms of bees, spoil wine, destroy crops, and even cause fruit to fall from trees. And this wasn't some village myth. It appeared in one of the most influential books of the ancient world. People read it, repeated it, believed it. It's almost like someone found a glitch in reality and decided it must be magic. The consequences were very real, across different cultures, from parts of India to regions of Africa and later medieval Europe. Many menstruating women were separated from the rest of society during their cycle, sometimes in separate huts, sometimes in isolated rooms, sometimes forbidden from cooking, touching certain objects, or participating in daily life. Depending on where you lived, your monthly cycle could decide where you slept, who you spoke to, and how the people around you treated you. Managing a period wasn't just about staying clean. It was navigating an entire social system. And yet, despite all of that, ancient women kept adapting. In fact, some of their solutions were surprisingly advanced. They understood absorbent fibers, reusable materials, comfort through layering, body-shaped designs, thousands of years before modern companies started calling those ideas sustainable innovation. As the centuries passed, cotton became more common. Rags became the standard for much of the world, remaining the everyday solution right into the late 19th century. Yes, right up until the early 1900s. The disposable sanitary pad we recognize today only appeared after wartime nurses noticed that medical bandages designed to absorb battlefield blood worked incredibly well for menstrual care. A modern solution born from war. And here's the part that stays with me the most. Ancient women weren't less intelligent. They simply had fewer options, so they became experts in their own bodies. They experimented, adapted, shared knowledge from mothers to daughters, generation after generation, quietly improving what worked and abandoning what didn't. Long before laboratories, long before product testing, women were already running real-world experiments every single month. So the next time you casually reach for a pad or a tampon, remember, you're holding the result of thousands of years of trial and error, ingenuity, superstition, resilience, and human experience. Because behind even the most ordinary object, there's often an extraordinary story. And it makes you wonder, what other everyday things are hiding histories we've completely forgotten? If you enjoy uncovering stories like this, follow the primal logic, because history is full of mysteries and we're only scratching the surface.